Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. Homage to the Dhamma Sangha, homage to Bada Bhante, Guru Bhante, Bhikkhu Sangh, and metta to Samne Anagarikas and Upasakas, Upasikas. So, you're all, we all have practice meditation and also puja today. So it's now the right time to listen to some Dhamma, words of the Buddha. Listening to Dhamma is very helpful for us to remind ourselves of the teachings of Buddha. It's a way to look at our own life, our own practices. It's a way to do that. Also, it helps us to understand the different dimension of life, different aspect of our life, of which we may not be aware. Something new, something recollecting, remembering, reminding. And also it is also a punya, it is a wholesome deed. Punya, merit, meritorious act, which help us to purify our mind, clean our mind. Just like we clean our body, we also need to clean our mind. So today I would like to share with you the story of Mahākāḻa. There was a monk named Mahākāḻa. So about his story. So they were three brothers, Chulakāla, Majjhimakāla, and Mahākāḻa. Chula means the junior, Majjhima means the medium, and Maha means the elder. So basically all their names were Kala, but Chula, Majjhima, and Maha. So they used to, so Chulakāla and Mahākāḻa, they used to travel in different maybe countries and different states to import goods, business material, trading material. And Majjhimakāla used to sell it in the city of Setabhaya. Setabhaya was the city. So at that time the Buddha was staying in Simsapa forest. So that was the time when Buddha was staying there. So basically they used to do trading, import, export, and business, selling, that kind of work they were doing. So once Mahākāḻa with some 500 vehicles, carts, where he was, he brought that to near to Savatthi. So Savatthi, most of you are aware, it was a very big city in the time of the Buddha. There were nearly 7 crore population. It's a very big city, North India. So he brought that, and then he saw some people were going to the monastery So he asked, where are you going? They were having flowers and other things. So they said, we are going to listen to the teaching of the Buddha. Buddha is staying in Savatthi, in Jetavana monastery. So he said, let me also, can I also come? And they said, you can come. So he asked his younger brother to take care of the things while he goes to listen to the Buddha, listen to the teaching of the Buddha. So he went there, and then he attended the assembly, just like you are all have come here. You all have come here. So Buddha saw him, right? So usually Buddha had this power to just scan the audience, who are all in the audience and what are their spiritual level. He can just kind of scan that, he will know that. So that was his power. So he saw that Mahākāḻa was there in the audience, and he saw that he had the spiritual potential, right? So according to his state of mind, Buddha gave a teaching, right? So the teaching was directed to Mahākāḻa, so that Mahākāḻa understand. Of course, it will also benefit others, but more specifically to Mahākāḻa. So what did the Buddha speak? So Buddha speak on the danger, degradation and corruption in sensual pleasure, and by means of such, so it was about the sensual pleasure. So we, as a human being, we are in this existence called Kama Loka, right? Kama Loka. So Kama Loka is, we have these 6 senses, right? We as a human being, we have a 6 senses: eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. So through these 6 senses, we interact with the world. This is our way to interact with the world, with the experiences. So we want to see something, listen something, smell, taste, touch, and even think. So we just, we kind of crave for it. We just want it, right? If you don't have this kind of, one of the, always the example I give is your phone, right? So try living without your phone for a day, right? And you will know how much you crave for your phone, yeah. So, of course, for the sake of convenience, but also all the, as kind of craving, right? You sort of crave. So Buddha gave the teaching on how it is danger. What does that mean, right? What is the meaning of danger? So danger here is when you are obsessed, literally obsessed with the sensual pleasures, right? Then there is a danger. It may be mobile, it may be for some people, maybe other thing, right? Maybe even these days we have got a lot of clothes as well, food. It's quite a big thing, and you want all different kinds of food, and then clothes also. You have your cupboard filled with clothes, but you don't find a cloth. That is a situation. Not just girls, but boys as well, right? So then seeing, you want to see all different movies, series, different kinds of web series and reels, a lot of reels, right? And and you can see, right, like that. And perfumes, a lot of perfumes, right? You want the right perfume, all different kinds of perfume that you want, right? And likewise, so you are into it, right? So if you are too much into it, it can be very daunting, because it will take a lot of your time, lot of your energy, and so this is time and energy, right? So a lot of your time and energy goes into it, especially when you are kind of obsessed with it, right? So Buddha is not saying that you don't enjoy your life, you don't have a happy life or have a happy life, but he's saying that when you are obsessed with some of these things, then it can take you down, and we as a human being, we have lots of expectation from the pleasures, right? That you depend on some of these pleasures for your happiness, for your dopamine, right? You depend on that. So Buddha is saying that if you depend on that alone, then you are going down, because there is no a kind of reliable substance in the sensual pleasures, sensory pleasures. So there is no any reliable source or substance in the sensual pleasures. And that's what Buddha is trying to say. It doesn't mean that you don't have to, as I said earlier, that you have to give it up. But if you're obsessed with that, and if you don't have some higher, a bit different, a bit more reliable source or substance for your own happiness, right? At the end of the day, it's about happiness, whether it is pleasure, whether it is what we call spirituality, it's about our happiness. But if we just depend on sensual pleasures for our happiness alone, then you are in trouble. You are in trouble, you are in difficulty, In fact, if you have a spiritual kind of base, a spiritual support, then the sensual world, in the sense sensory world, can be much more kind of supportive, in the sense that if you have a strong spiritual base, then even a smaller sensual experiences can be very much already, right? It can be very much already. But if you don't have this spiritual support within you, then no matter how big the sensual experiences it is always less. It is always less. That's why people go very crazy sometimes, into different sensory thing. We hear about abuses, like say a lot of drug abuses, or even other kind of abuses, including sexual abuses, right? So it is there because you don't have a strong spiritual base, because of which you are finding everything in the sensual world. The sensual world has a limited amount of power, a limited amount of power. It is less, it doesn't have so much in it, So that's what Buddha is trying to say, and I hope we all can connect with it. We all can relate to it, right? So this is what the Buddha's teaching was. So he gave a good teaching on this topic, which I just mentioned. And at the end of the talk, so he thought that at the end of the talk, Mahākāḻa was very much convinced about the teaching of Buddha, and he thought that, what he thought, indeed, all must be abandoned. When going to the next world, neither wealth nor relatives accompany one. What is the use of household life for me? I will go forth. So Mahākāḻa thought that when I go, I don't take anything. I don't take wealth, I don't take relatives, whatever, I don't take anything. So he was very much, he kind of lost that attachment for wealth and family, right, at that point. The reason it happened was he was already somewhat spiritually mature, coming from past lives. So since it was coming from past lives, so he was able to very much connect with what Buddha says, and then he thought of becoming a monk, leaving everything aside, right? But it doesn't mean that at this point, you must also understand that that Buddha is not telling everyone to become a monk, right? It's not something mandatory, and even in the home, in the household life, in the family life, one can still practice spirituality, right? Spirituality is not only for monk, that you must understand, but becoming a monk is also a good thing, but it is not mandatory. It is something if you like, if you wish, right? If there is inner calling, what do you call, right? It is an inner calling that kind of happens to you, it's fine. Otherwise, you shouldn't just hit your head, trying to bring this intention of becoming a monk. It is not at all mandatory, not at all necessary as such, right? So like this, Mahākāḻa thought, and then when he met Buddha, and he said, I want to be a monk. Then Buddha said, do you have to take any permission from somebody? Because when somebody wants to become monk, they need the permission of, say, their parent or partner. If you are married, from the partner or family members, right? You need permission. That is something necessary. So he said, yes, I need to. So he went to his younger brother. So younger brother, he told him that I want to be a monk. So he said, don't be a monk, right? Why you want to be a monk? Because of course, his brother Chulakala, he was still not knowing why his brother is deciding to become a monk. He was not sure. So he tried to stop him from becoming a monk, but he still said, I want to be. Then he gave everything to him, and then he became a monk. So then Chulakala thought, okay, if my brother is becoming monk, what I will do alone, right? So he didn't want to leave his brother, so because of which he too became a monk. Like, so both of them became a monk, So they became monk, and then he asked the Buddha, what I'm supposed to do, what are the things I need to do. So Buddha said, you have two different options, One is called Gantha Dura, another is called Vipassana Dura. Gantha Dura is to study the scripture, and second one is just practicing meditation, And then Mahākāḻa said, I'm already quite old, quite advanced in age, basically not maybe, he must be somewhere in 50s, maybe 50s or around that age. So he said, I don't have much time to study, so I want to just meditate, right? So Buddha gave him many meditation topic, just like say breathing meditation or loving kindness meditation or the recollecting the qualities of Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, or also meditating on the qualities of devatas, and like the different meditations are there. Nearly 40 subjects of meditations are there, right? So Buddha gave him all different ones. So then he took this meditation of a meditation called Asubha. Asubha meditation is this meditation on the body, right? So you basically meditate on your body, right? So this is done so that you come out of the attachment to the body, to your own body, right? So he did that. He used to do that meditation, and he every night, in the night time, he used to go to the cemetery, where people are burnt. He used to go there, and he used to meditate in that forest, in that cemetery. And there because there are many corpse, the dead bodies are there, so he will meditate on that, right? So, okay, this is ultimately we have to, leave our body, right? We are so much attached to body as my body, but eventually you have to leave your body, right? So he did that meditation and eventually he became enlightened, because why we are not enlightened? Because we have a lot of attachment to our own body and things around, right? Others' body, my body. So we are kind of attached to a lot of this thing, and also attached to many other things. So the elders, he meditated, and that then his attachment just kind of vanished, and then he became enlightened. Of course, it takes time, it takes time, and it is something that that should be done when you are very energetic, and when you are not much, when you live a very simple life. So, and when you have a strong shila, which means when you have a good conduct, so then only you can do that. So he did that every day. In the night he used to meditate there, right? And eventually his mind became very strong. His attachment sort of dropped bit by bit, and eventually he just became enlightened. But Chulakala, he was not meditating. He was thinking about his home, his wife, children, brothers, and all of that. And he was he was not. Remember, he became monk just because his brother became monk, right? So he was thinking only about the household life. So he was not happy much. So one of the knowledge that before enlightenment, the knowledge that Mahākāḻa got was impermanent indeed are conditioned things. Their nature is to arise and vanish. Having arisen, they cease. Their coming is bliss. So he said everything is impermanent. Everything is changing, right? Everything is changing. They arise and vanish. They come and go. So So this is the knowledge he got, right? So, but see, we too also have, right? Right now when you hear, oh, everything has to go, so why should I be attached? Why should I hate somebody? Why should I be, obsessed with things? And you do get it, right? But maybe after you leave the monastery, you may forget, right? There is a high chances you may forget after you leave this monastery. Or it may be there for few days, or once in a while it may be there, then it is not there, right? But this monk, this Bhante Mahākāḻa, when he was every day going to the cemetery, meditating, and eventually that knowledge became very constant, right? It became more constant and stable, right? In our normal people, it is not constant and stable. It is there. Maybe when you attend somebody's funeral, then you may be, we have to die. What is there? Like that you get few thoughts, right? And once you come out of this cemetery, that funeral, you will again start checking your messages and, worried about this, worried about that, why this not happen, why not that happen. Already you are worried, right? So when I say he become enlightened, it means that his understanding of this impermanent is stable and constant, right? It is there in his consciousness, right? It is part of his consciousness. It is part of his mind now, right? Or you can say it is, in fact, in our own mind it is there, but it is very weak. It is very much down, right? So that's why we have to develop and cultivate. It's very important because you may think that, okay, what is this Buddha's teaching? It is talking about death. It is talking about death. It is talking about change. It is talking about the body being not so strong all the time. You may think like that, right? This thought may come in your mind, but we should not look at it in this way. We should think that, okay, everything changes, right? The body, we are young, then we become older and older. We get many sick, many kind of sicknesses. Then we become older and we die and we are burnt, right? So like that, if we see, then we will, and we also contemplate in our own body, right? Our body is also made up of, what is our body? It is made up of flesh, skin, blood and bones, and kidney, liver, intestine, so many things. There are 32 parts which Buddha mentioned. So it is important to contemplate, right? So that we are not obsessed with our body, we are also not obsessed with others' body. Yes, it is very important, because for some people this kind of sexual obsession is also a problem, right? Sexual obsession is also a problem. So when you meditate on your own body, then you will not, it's like a meditation, right? So it is there in your consciousness. So then you don't see your body and others' body as just the external part, right? You see the body fully, totally, inside and outside, both, right? Then there is no obsession, right? It is not to make make yourself depressed like that. Okay, if somebody looks beautiful, good, but then you should not be obsessed. You should not be kind of obsessed. Yeah, obsession is the good word, right? You are not too much kind of obsessive with it, right? So this is what this Bhante did, and as I said, this is more constant, right? So if you want to get rid of some of your obsession, then we need more practices, more continuity, right? And then there is less attachment. And in fact, if you have less attachment, you are more happier, right? You will appreciate the beauty in the world, but you are not obsessed with the beauties, right? You are not too much attached and obsessed with the beauties or the good things in the world. You are not attached, right? So then you will be happy. You will be much more calm, much more stable. So later they were traveling, and then they arrived in their hometown, because as a monk, we travel, right? We don't stay in one place, and we travel in different places, and for meditation, teaching. So he traveled, and they arrived in their hometown, and their family members invited the Buddha and Mahākāḻa, Chulakāla as well. So their family members, they try to disrobe him, right? Which means to bring him back in the family. So what they did is they just circled him, and then they tried to remove his clothes. In the sense to live the monk life. But Mahākāḻa, he already had the psychic power, so he just flew in the air, and he just disappeared from there. Right? So then the Buddha gave the teaching, But Chulakāla, he was totally controlled by his family, and he was, made fun, and he was so much, he couldn't withstand the pressure from his family, right? And I think what happened to him, it is not given here, but for Mahākāḻa, he just flew. So then Buddha gave this sloka, this gatha. He said, Subhanupasing viharantang indriyesu asangvitang bhojanam hi chamattanyung kusitang hinaveriyang tangve pasahati maro vato rukhang vadubbalang. Asubhanupasing viharantang indriyesu. Okay, first let me see the meaning. So living with attachment to beauty, uncontrolled in faculties, greedy in food, lazy, of weak effort, Mara overcomes him like the wind, a feeble tree. Yes, so if you are just obsessed with the beauties of the world, with the external thing, then, and if you are not controlled in your senses, right, or 6 senses I mentioned, if you don't have control, and you are obsessed with food, and you are lazy, and you don't make effort, you are not energetic, you are not making effort to do something good, something good in your life, whether it is work or spirituality or service, whatever it is, then Mara overcomes him. So your mind is controlled by Mara. Mara is basically, it's it has many meaning. One of the meaning is some kind of demon, right? Demon. So they control. So which means you are controlled by all of the. Also, the Mara means kilesha. Means your own inner. You can say your own inner demon. There is an inner demon within us. So it will control you, right? So what are the things? If you are too much attached with the beauties, uncontrolled faculties, greedy in food and lazy, then you go. The next what Buddha said, Subha asubha anupasing vyaranta indriyesu susangvitang bhojanam hi cha mattanyo saddang aradda viriyang tangve napasati maro vato selang vapabbadang. living with contemplation of the fall, controlling faculties, moderate in food, faithful, energetic, Mara does not overcome him. So if you see the non-beauty part of our life, or our body, or others' body, and then you are controlling your senses, right? You control in your eyes, ears, and everything. And moderation, food. Your food, you are moderate. You are control in your food. And then you are faithful, which means you have confidence in something which is good. It can be spirituality, it can be any other goals in your own life, right? And then you are energetic. You are making effort to, energetic means to make an effort to achieve something, and also to give up something, to give up something which is not very good. So if you're like this, then you can overcome, just like Buddha gave the example in the like a tree. If there is a weak tree, a very kind of weak tree, then the wind will just break it, right? But if it is a mountain, a rocky mountain, then the rocky mountain, no wind will move it. It is very strong. So you become like a strong mountain, right? So this is the teaching, and you may think it is only for monk, but it is also for family people also. You have to have some kind of control, and some kind of energetic, and restraint, some kind of a restraint, control. So, and moderation, that is very, very important, right? Very, very important. And you shouldn't be lazy, right? You have to do something. You have to physically energetic. You have to maybe do some exercise and workout, or yoga, or whatever. Do meditation and chant, read, do your work on time, and sleep on time. Don't be on mobile. That is also one thing. And eat healthy. Don't eat junk all the time, right? If you eat junk all the time, then it's not good. Maybe once in a while, okay, but other time try to eat healthy, right? Try to eat healthy, and try to eat moderate. Moderate means not, don't eat full, right? If you eat full, then you will be lazy, right? Then you just lazy. So lazy also means, you can say, procrastination. You will do, okay, I will do later, okay, I will do tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and that tomorrow, day after tomorrow never comes. And you are 80-year-old suddenly, right? So this kind of laziness and weak in effort. So you have to make effort, right? You have to be energetic, right? So if you are like that, then you become like a rocky mountain. Like you are stable, you are strong, right? You are, and as a result, you are more happy, you are more peaceful, you are more calm, you are more joyful, and you are happy, right? And you also, and then maybe you will achieve enlightenment, which means your happiness becomes stable, totally like a permanently stable, right? That is enlightenment. It's nothing more than that. So it's a good lesson here we have to see, and we have to see the danger also. Yeah, one of the things we have to see the danger. Asubha also means seeing the things as they are, right? So, for example, you see a junk food, right? So you see, oh, it's so tasty, So you are just seeing the tasty part of it, or it is presented in a very beautiful way, very attractive. Then you're like, oh, so tasty, looking so good, Then you eat, right? But you also have to see, okay, this junk food is not going to go well with my guts, right? My gut health will not be good, will not be great. It will harm me. It will harm my body. Like that, we have to also see the danger in some of this obsession, right? So you have to eat healthy. So also everything, right? We have to see. So when we see everything as it is, then we are not obsessed. I mentioned body also. If you see our body, there is a lot of things inside our body which are not so beautiful, which are not so handsome, right? You think I'm so handsome or I'm so beautiful, but when you see inside your body, there are a lot of things which are not so beauty, right? So therefore, it is important to see, because otherwise we are obsessed, right? Then we are all the time obsessed with the thought of beauty. Then we waste a lot of our time, we'll waste a lot of our energy, and then we are not strong like a rock. We are like a weak tree, which are just blown by the wind. So if you are not strong, then here, what is the meaning of wind? Wind means all the troubles and difficulties of the life. The life is not so easy. All of you already know that there are a lot of challenges, a lot of difficulties that are there in the life, in the form of many ways, in different form, in terms of human, in terms of other thing. So unless you are stronger within yourself, then a lot of things are already there to push you, to pull you, to crush you, to do all kinds of things with you. So unless you are strong inside yourself, with whatever Buddha mentioned today, then it's going to be very tough, right? It's going to be very tough. So you have to be tough, so that the toughness of life will not bother you much, right? You are not bothered by the toughness of your life, right? So please understand the teaching. Don't take it in the other way, because you may think that, oh, Buddha is such a negative person. He's only telling, bad thing about the life, No, he's not telling bad thing, He's telling what is reality of life, everything. He's not saying there is no happiness in life, He's saying there is happiness. But happiness should be developed and cultivated, right? If you're just depending on sensual pleasure like food and other thing, you are getting a pleasure, you are not getting happiness, right? That pleasure will be there for some time. Maybe when you eat a junk food, the pleasure is there for food. Once it goes inside, it troubles you. Then where is the happiness? It is not there. And there will be more unhappiness when you get a lot of other problem connected to that junk food, in the form of physical uneasiness, mental disturbance. It can also have some disturbance in the mind as well, the kind of food that you eat, right? So therefore, we need to be careful, right? We need to, Buddha is not saying you don't eat, don't eat, don't sleep. He's not saying eat well, sleep, eat healthy, sleep well, and moderate, and make effort, be energetic. That's what Buddha is saying. So that you become like a rocky mountain, right? You become strong like a mountain inside, so that you are not troubled, as I already said. So as Buddha mentioned about, this 8 thing, or you can say the different kinds of push and pull, as I mentioned. So you're not pushed and pulled, right? You're strong. So with these words, I conclude. And today is Madhu Purnima. Also, it's a very holy day. Today is Purnima. On this day, Buddha was offered, on this full moon day, Buddha was offered honey by a monkey, right? And that monkey was not a ordinary monkey. He was very wise. He took the honey which didn't have honey bee, right? He took that and he offered, because Buddha was alone in the forest at that time. The reason he was alone in the forest was because some monks, they were arguing with each other. They were not listening to Buddha. So Buddha thought, what is the use of staying with these people? They are arguing all the time. So he just left and he went alone in the forest, Parilayaka forest, and he stayed there. And then he was served by an elephant also, right? The elephant used to bring fruits and vegetables, fruits, mostly fruits to him. So he used to, that elephant and the monkey, they used to help Buddha, when he was alone in that Parilayaka forest, right? So this is the day, it's called Madhu Purnima. That is why it is known as Madhu Purnima. And also it is the Varshavas, 3-month rainy season, when the monks, they don't travel, they stay in one place. And the Upasaka, Upasika, the devotees, they take some Ashtashila, higher precepts on the full moon day, new moon day, and Ashtamis, right? So it's a very special day today. So on this day, we will do a blessing for all of you.